Okay, well in today's video, we are going to be talking about all of this Czechoslovakian pottery.
Yes.
$650
worth.
$50 worth. It's a lot. So we're going to be talking about this, but before we start talking about all of this, I wanted to talk about a few other things. First of all, everything's closed right now.
Yes.
Like everything.
Yes.
So the videos you have been seeing are pre-recorded. We are not actively out shopping at stores, unless of course we're at our shop. Those were recently recorded, but it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
And we had an opportunity to go to a warehouse, just the two of us, you know, so again, we did that. It was just the two of us on our own. So we have been finding other ways to film videos and get content while still being socially responsible. But all of the shops are closed down, so the videos you have been seeing are pre-recorded. I put out a Goodwill video yesterday. I have another Goodwill video coming up, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that they are pre-recorded. We're not out actively shopping. The Goodwills are closed. There's no real way for us to be out actively shopping. So I just want to make sure you guys were aware of that. Another thing is, because we can't get out and film at stores and stuff, I thought maybe we could do a Q&A video. That would be fun.
Way to put me on the spot, because I would have told you.
He knew nothing about this before I started filming.
I would have told you no.
So,
I might still tell you no.
I wanted to let you guys leave some questions down in the comments, and
there's no guarantees I'm going to answer any questions.
yes, it might just be a Q&A with me. I don't know, unless you can convince him in the comments that he should be involved too.
Yeah. Good luck.
We'll see how that goes. But anyway, so I was thinking about doing a Q&A video. So just some questions that you guys would be interested in. And then maybe we'll do a video about talking about eBay, or I don't know. We're just gonna come up with creative ways to make content, because they were saying this was gonna be 2 weeks. We're expecting it's gonna be 8 weeks. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Keep putting out content, because this is our job. This is what we do. We're content creators and we're resellers. And so we're just gonna keep doing what we do while we still can.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. We have employees that depend on us. You know, if things go bad with our families, we have families that depend on us, and while we can still make an income, that's what we're gonna do.
We plan on doing it.
Yes. So anyway, let's talk about this Czech pottery, because we bought a lot of it. There were 80 items on our bill, but a couple of those items were multiples. So there are way more than 80 items out on the table. We are not going to talk about every single item.
No.
We would be here for a very, very long time. However, we are going to talk about some of our favorite pieces, some particular marks, and some of the pieces that we've seen trending that go for a little bit more money.
And something I found in a box.
And something he found in a box.
Books!
Of books. Well, you were doing a clean out recently.
Yeah, this one is actually really cool because it's Czechoslovakian glass and collectibles. So there's more than just the pottery in here.
Yes, I was loving it.
It's got the pottery, all the different marks in the back.
And the glass. It has the glass. So I was like all looking through the glass. I was super stoked about that.
Like Crystal Bohemia, made in Czechoslovakia. So I mean, it's got.
There's some this is
a pretty extensive book. And actually, what I thought was really cool when I was flipping through this, I forget what plate it was. Maybe it was like plate 60. There it is, plate 76. And the very first piece, this is the very first piece I grabbed walking in. And if you look at,
let's see if we can get it side by side. Ah, look, there it is.
Right there. Now this is a three-handled vase in the book.
Yes.
Where she's got the little, I guess that's a little flower pot. Yeah. Now this in the late 90s.
That's when antique prices
$165 to $195. That's when there was an extremely stupid market on this stuff.
Yes, and the market has gone down. So when we find these books, we use them mostly for reference.
Right. They are a relative guide.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can take any subject matter, whether it be Czechoslovakian pottery, glass, bottles, coins, paper money, you can look in a book. You can get a number out of a book. but that does not mean that that is what the item is worth.
Yeah.
Even if the book was just fresh printed this morning and you got it this afternoon, doesn't mean anything. So look, you have to shop around the pricing.
Absolutely.
It is a relative guide. So, and when I say that, if you're looking at 6 pieces in a row, and one's like $40, $40, $80, $40, $40, you know that $80 piece is better. Why is that $80 piece better? And it makes it stand out.
Yes.
So I look at the numbers to make things stand out rather than tell me what they're worth.
Absolutely.
So I know which ones I want to look for. And that's how we learn the key dates on coins and key items in currency, by picking out the high value stuff and memorizing those little pieces rather than trying to memorize the entire book.
Absolutely.
So pick out the expensive stuff, memorize that, and that's what you go on the search for.
Yeah, so that's why we still pick up these books. Even though they're like incredibly outdated, when we find them, we get excited because, you know, I was looking through this book and it really got me
There's
thinking.
so much that is sitting on this table.
Yes.
That is in this flipping book.
And I was thinking, like, I wonder if this book was written by the person whose collection this was, because there is so much of this in here.
It's possible. This is a 2-person book.
It's
so I don't
crazy.
know.
I was looking through there. I'm like, oh, I have that. I have that. I have that. I have that. It was just insane. I couldn't believe it.
You got a husband and wife, and then you got another lady. So we'll have to see. Maybe.
Oh my gosh, how crazy would that be?
Maybe.
Because, I mean, like, even this, okay? So this piece right here is in that book. Like, just this oddball piece.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait a second. I don't know. Just such a huge bunch of this collection is in that book that it really got me, like, thinking about that.
Yeah, but it's nice, though, because it helped you distinguish some marks on some pieces.
Yeah. Okay, so for instance, let's grab these guys.
Now, these guys, by the time you see this video, I believe these
No, they're going to still be up.
are listed.
Yes, I listed these last night, and you guys are seeing this, well, you're seeing this tomorrow, so they'll be 2 days old. But I did list these. Now, what's interesting about these is if you look at the marks on the bottom, one says hand-painted Czechoslovakia, and one says Dietmar Erbach. So, you know, they're identical. So that makes you think like, oh, they're made by the same company. And they are. These are 2 separate marks by the same company. However, this one does not say Dietmar Erbach. So it's kind of...
If you don't know that this one that says just Czechoslovakia...
It just says Czechoslovakia hand-painted.
But that particular style of mark, the way it's laid out, that is attributed and identified as the Dietmar.
Yes.
And it's... If you don't do the research, you're not going to pick these things out.
And I actually had been listing stuff as Czechoslovakia pottery, not realizing that that mark was attributed. So it took me a while to figure it out. And then I was like, oh, wait a second, this mark is attributed to that same company. So now that I know that going forward, every time I see that mark, I know to attribute it to Dietmar Erbach.
Yep.
So it's just kind of an interesting
I think they're really pretty pieces.
They're gorgeous. Now, a similar piece to this that was a little bit more abstract, it didn't have flowers on it, had sold on eBay for $175. So I'm not expecting that much on this piece. Obviously, with the state of the current global economy and whatnot, I'm not expecting $175. But we've only got, I think,
$8.12 average per piece based on 80 pieces. Now, again, there was things that are getting broken up that are not staying within that 80 piece number, so that 80 pieces is actually expanding. So the cost average will now go down from $8.12 a piece.
Absolutely. So we've only got $8 into it, and you know we're not gonna expect $175. We'd be happy with like $50.
If it if it brings $40-$50, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
If this piece brings $40-$50, and somebody's going to get a good price on 2 good pieces, and hey, it's awesome.
And we made money, so
yeah,
it's a win-win.
It is. I like the win-win.
I like win-wins too. So I'd have to say that these are probably my favoriter pieces. There's some other ones in here that I like, but those really stuck out to me when we were in there. As soon as I spotted those, I was like, oh my gosh, those are amazing. So
yeah,
definitely pounced on those.
I think for me, I mean, it probably wasn't the most expensive pottery to begin with.
No, I don't think it was.
I mean, it's got decorative use, but the colors and the shapes.
Vibrant, colorful.
And the patterns. That's one of my favorites right there.
This one.
I think this one may have had a lid. I'm not really sure. I don't see any. It's glazed around here. That's the only thing that keeps me from saying that this actually had a lid.
One of the pieces is probably back here. We had a picture that had a lid, but I'm not seeing it out here. We could have compared.
It's right there.
No, that's a biscuit jar. I'm thinking of a picture.
No, next to the biscuit jar.
Oh, this is German. But it's similar.
But
and it is glazed.
And it's got the lid.
So it's possible.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see any dings or anything from a lid.
Marked? No. Now this one had a tag that said Czechoslovakian pottery. I took the tag off, obviously, when I listed it, but there is no mark on the bottom.
Yeah, it's just a number 1.
Yeah, but it was part of this collection.
Yeah.
This vast collection of Czechoslovakian pottery. So.
And it's got the right colors.
It's got the right weight.
It's got the right everything.
It's absolutely, without a doubt, was part of this collection.
This was another one of my favorites that came out of there.
Yeah, and that's not Czechoslovakian pottery, so let's talk about that.
No, this is actually an Irish, made in Ireland. It's Irish pottery. And you've got the little clovers going around the bottom. It's got the hunting scene. And we just saw another one of those, but it didn't, and it was, the one we saw was made in England. Mm-hmm. And it had dots instead of the clovers, but it was made with the similar glaze with a hunting scene on it to be an imitation of the Irish piece.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about, you want to talk about heavy?
Oh yeah, it's super heavy. It's like a stein. It's for, those heavy drinking steins.
This thing probably weighs about 2 to 3 pounds. It's heavy.
But I was so bummed because I was like fishing through the box because we bought all of this on, I think, the day before St. Patrick's Day. And it was all still in the box on St. Patrick's Day. And I was literally digging through the boxes trying to find this so that I could have my St. Patrick's Day beer in this Ireland mug. And I couldn't find it and I just gave up.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know.
And it's cool too because now the cup part only goes to about here. Mm-hmm. This is all base and it's all hollow.
Well, I had noticed that on the German steins that we bought and sold. They were the same thing. The bottom was just, I know.
I like this. This is one of my more favorite pieces out of this.
Really? Out of all of this?
I do. I like the clovers on it. I like the clovers going around it, and I like how heavy and well made it is. Don't get me wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. But this is one of the pieces I do like much better. I like these little guys too.
Yeah. I didn't
now,
see that
this one is actually made for a souvenir for Mackinac Island. Mm-hmm. So,
but it is.
I want to say that's up in Michigan.
I wouldn't know. I've never heard of it before.
I want to say that's up by Michigan.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, I had seen that. I haven't gotten around to listing this one yet.
That might be Mackinac Island.
There's a lot of stuff on the table that still needs to be listed. Yes. I've been listing it every night, about 5 to 10 pieces every night. I've been going through when I have the time.
This is one I geeked out about.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that yellow luster.
I know.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
There's tape on
and
it.
it just says Czechoslovakian, right?
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, that's all it says on it. But it's just a little vanity jar, and it's got the yellow luster. Let's see the mark on the bottom there. I like that piece. I don't have that one listed either.
Now this is a little different with this like splatter look to it. Like a spongeware look.
Mm-hmm. Now that's one thing that I realized in looking at the book and going through all this stuff is a lot of these pieces are pitchers.
Yeah.
They were like super into pitchers. Creamer pitchers, milk pitchers, just pitchers in general. There are so many pitchers.
The glass though.
I know the glass. Oh, don't get me started on the glass. I love the glass. But this is one of the pitchers. I guess this would, I don't know. I feel like it's a little big for a creamer pitcher. It's possible it's a milk pitcher. Let's see if it's gonna focus on that for you guys. I don't know. Like, there's just so many these ones.
You know, it makes me think, after looking at some of this glass, do you recall those tumblers that we had, those art glass tumblers? There was like a set of 6 or 8 of them. They were like blue with all different colors.
We still have those.
Yeah, that almost looks like a Czech art glass style. After looking at this glass, this is.
I know. I love their glass. So a lot of the Czechoslovakian pottery has very Art Deco designs, and that was when a lot of this was being produced. So that's why a lot of these pieces, when you look at them, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so Art Deco.
The perfumes are amazing.
They're going to have to get themselves a copy of that.
They are going to have to get a copy of this. This is called Czechoslovakian Glass and Collectibles, and it's by Dale and Diane Barta and Helen M. Rose. It's printed by Collector's Books, a division of Schroeder Publishing, and it was originally $16.95. I have a feeling that you can find this. Maybe not, because I just looked at the price he's got in here.
Oh, $110.
I'm gonna have to check this book online.
Yikes.
This could be an expensive book in itself, and I didn't know. So.
Oh, goodness. One of the pieces I grabbed was this. Now, this was in the bid room, and it was with a pile of other similar pieces for $15. Buy it now. And we thought, you know what, let's buy it now. All it needed was a new cord, which took me all but 3 minutes to wire this thing. So I did put a new cord on it. It's now perfectly ready to go. It actually sold a few days ago. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We got a little behind in videos with the kids being home and everything, all this craziness. But this piece right here is actually by Jay Mrazek. I'm sure I butchered his name, but it's Mrazek. And his stuff tends to sell pretty well. So I've noticed a common theme in most of his stuff, and that is like this table. You have no idea how crowded this is right now. For instance, this is one of his pieces, and a lot of his pieces all have these same flowers, like just across the board. I just found a picture set at an antique shop the other day, and it was the same. It had his name on it, and it had the same exact floral design. And so I think this was kind of his signature, was this design and these flowers and these colors.
Look at that orange. Look at that heavy orange on that lamp and this.
Yes, it's all the same.
It's heavy
this piece
orange.
right here, I don't know if this is him though. I was gonna say it's very similar, but there's not enough room on the bottom to put his name. So it's possible, I'm not going to be able to attribute that, but it's like the same flowers and everything else.
Like, look at this one here. See this one?
Yeah. So he has a page in this book. And even on the page in the book, all of the pieces on that page have those same flowers, that same color scheme.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing that he does. So
now there are 2 pieces that I noticed online. Now we don't have them here. I wish we did. But there are 2 pieces out there that are extremely desirable, that are always good sellers, and they are pitchers. One is a ram and one is a toucan. So you've got 2 figural pitchers to keep your eyes open for. They're very colorful, and actually, if you want to show them these guys.
Yeah. Oh, and on the same page of the pottery with that other.
So you've got the ram, lift it up, and the toucan.
Yes. And now on this page, you have the pottery by that person I was just talking about, and you could see the commonality in the colors and the design.
Yeah.
So it's just really interesting. I love this book. I'm obsessed with it.
I know. I was when I saw this, I was super excited. I was like, you're having a bad day, and I got something really awesome you're gonna like.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad day yesterday.
So.
But anyway, let's talk about some of the marks. So we talked about the Dietmar Erbach. That was one of the marks that I came across a lot while I was going through this stuff. And another very common mark that I was coming across, let's see if we can find it on, now all the pieces I'm picking up, none of them have the mark I'm looking for.
Urfilla.
Yeah, Urfilla. So this is the mark right here, this Urfilla. Now, Urfilla was not actually a factory. It's not a factory in Czechoslovakia. Urfilla actually stands for the importer.
They have a whole page in this book.
And we have that picture.
Yep.
And we have, like, I'm telling you.
This is awesome. And now there are pieces that are not in the book, obviously.
Yeah, but maybe they collected those after they wrote the book. Anyway, so this right here is marked Urfilla, and this Urfilla stands for Ebling and Roos, I believe. Maybe it's Erbling and Roos, of Philadelphia, Urfilla. And they were importers of the Czechoslovakian pottery. They did not actually produce it. So when you see this mark on the bottom, it is not the factory, it is the importer. So it's Urfilla Art Pottery, and then it says Czechoslovakia. So there were multiple factories in Czechoslovakia making this pottery for Urfilla to import into the US. So it's kind of hard to attribute any of it to one particular factory. However, there are certain patterns that I'm seeing a lot of, such as this pattern right here. We have multiple pieces with this exact pattern.
Yeah, like here's a small version of that one with and then there's another one of those.
Yeah, so first of all, this is a flower pot, or a cash pot, I believe is how you pronounce it, because I said cash pot the one time and they let me know I was wrong. It's just a flower pot, it's a planter, just call it that. Why do we gotta be all French? So anyway.
So even French pottery, it's Czechoslovakian.
This pattern is referred to as orange poppy. A lot of the times when I was finding it, this is an orange poppy pattern. Also, they call it orange flowers. But we have a ton of this particular pattern. Now, I don't know if that was because maybe it was the collector's favorite pattern, or perhaps it's just a popular pattern, and that's why we came across a lot of it while we were there.
Yeah, because this one's Urfilla as well.
Yes, that one is Urfilla. So it was imported into Philadelphia by Erbling and Roos. Swear I'm butchering that. But I guess we'll just like showcase some of the pieces that we got, some of the more valuable pieces. Not that I think we already have. But this is another piece that seems to be quite valuable. Let's see.
You know, and here's the other thing too, is like I didn't realize, but do you guys remember those like little moose creamers we've had?
Oh yeah, I knew those were Czechoslovakia.
They're in here.
I knew that.
And there's parrot ones, and I want them.
Yes, and I have that one in the kitchen, that cat.
I don't want the cat, I want the parrots.
I have the cat one.
1, 2, 3.
I'm not selling it.
4, 5 different bird ones, and I want them all.
This piece right here, if you look at the bottom, you see that mark right there. And if you've been paying attention, you know that that's Dittmar and Urbach. Now, one of these that was a lot more Art Deco in style and hand painted, a lot more Art Deco, that one sold for quite a bit of money. I think it was $200 plus, but I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah.
This one, obviously, it doesn't have a very Art Deco design on it. It's florals. It's probably around the era of Art Deco, so it probably is Art Deco, you know, but it doesn't have like an atomic Art Deco. So I wouldn't expect it to go for that much, especially given our current, you know, things that are going on. But this piece I am expecting to do pretty well, and we actually have a second one that I listed last night before I figured out that mark was Dittmar Urbach. So I listed that one just as Czechoslovakian pottery. So that one right here has the same mark. It's more blue, but it's the same, it's just a box. So
like a refrigerator dish.
Yeah, they have it listed as rectangular box. I look at this and I see a refrigerator dish, but it wasn't.
I'll tell you what, I mean, like if I was a lady, I wouldn't mind having that on my dresser with my stuff in it.
Oh, I know, it's beautiful.
Why would it have to be a refrigerator?
Oh, I know, it doesn't have to be a refrigerator.
And it doesn't have to be a dresser thing. You could use it as a refrigerator. Because it looks like all their stuff is like kitchen.
Yeah.
Kitchen themed.
So this is an example of paying to learn, which I talk an awful lot about, because for instance, on this box, I've since learned that this mark is Dietmar Erbach, and so I put that in the title. But with this one, I didn't know that. So this one with the Dietmar Erbach will probably get more attention because it's in the title and I can attribute it. Whereas this one, I just listed as Czechoslovakian pottery. Granted, I don't know that market well enough to know that people aren't searching for these. But you know, we only have $8 into all the pieces. So for us, we're not looking to make huge money on this. We just want to make a profit. And so I think we're going to.
We don't have to squeeze every last nickel. We're not nickel squeezers.
No, we're not. All right, I'm going to reset the camera and then we're going to keep talking a little bit longer. There we go.
Now I found this interesting. Do you see this piece of glass?
Yes.
Does that look familiar?
Yes.
With a flat bottom, but this one's got feet.
Yes.
We've got that one sitting over at the building from the house clean out, minus the feet. That's cool.
Now another piece we grabbed was this one right here. Now a lot of people had said, oh, that looks like Shawnee. I did look up the Shawnee elephant picture, and although they are similar, this is not a match to the Shawnee pictures unless they had multiple elephant designs, but the elephant picture, well, creamer, that I was finding was not the same as this. So I don't believe that this is Shawnee. It's possible that this was part of this collection. It's just not marked. I'm not sure. So I just listed this as a pottery elephant creamer because I wasn't sure. What do we have here? So here we've got an ashtray. This one has that Dietmar Erbach mark on the bottom, and if you'll see, it also has this incised mark that goes with it. So that's kind of the clue, is it says hand painted Czechoslovakia, and all of the pieces have an incised number, which could very well be a mold number or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now these ones are kind of interesting. This one, what mark is that? This one is just made in Czechoslovakia, and it's not one of the more common marks, so I'm not sure about this one, but it has this really gorgeous mountain scene with flowers in the forefront and a river. That one I really liked.
That was one of the ones that was up in the front cabinet, and I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And then there was these guys too with the wagon. Mm-hmm. I really like that too. Because there's a couple pieces of that. There's a covered dish that goes with that, a small one.
So there's like the stagecoach. This one is marked that Urfilla. So it was imported into Philadelphia.
I like this, but you know what I noticed? And maybe I'm just seeing so many hand-painted marks. That OAR looks like something I've seen on Limoges.
Yeah, so this piece was more than likely a blank, and it was hand painted more than likely by a housewife. So,
but the OAR, we've had that on some of the Limoges we've had. Now, OAR, or it's easy. It's easy to remember. Or I've thought about it.
I believe you.
So anyway, I'm thinking, how weird is that? Because this is different pottery. Totally different portion of the world that this stuff was coming from, at least that we were buying it from. I don't know where. That's crazy that we're buying stuff from. It's got the same hand painted initials on it.
Not necessarily, because if you think of Oh Judy, there were pieces that were painted that were on Nippon, and there were pieces that were painted on.
So maybe this
Limoges.
OAR is somebody famous or somebody that did a lot of work for.
It's possible. The same with Picard. Picard didn't just paint Limoges. They painted multiple blanks from different pottery houses.
Yeah.
So the pottery houses produced the blanks, and then these famous
painting companies
at the time would paint the porcelain.
Yeah. Well, I want to know who OAR is, because OAR has popped up multiple times.
Maybe there's just a lot of people with OAR as their initials.
No.
He's not buying it. So we also got these little open salts. Now we pick these up whenever we come across them for a good price. They tend to sell well for us. And the reason for that is one of my viewers actually pointed out is because like dinner parties will put them out for gourmet salts. I guess that's like becoming a thing, which I didn't even connect. We just started listing them and they were doing really well. And I never figured why. I'm just like, wow, those things are a hot commodity. But then one of my viewers pointed out that because of the dinner parties and the gourmet salts, people were buying them up. Now these would have gone with each place setting and people would just fill them with salt and they could sprinkle it on, and that's what an open salt is. They were kind of before salt and pepper shakers. So that is what an open salt cellar, sometimes you hear us refer to it as. I know people are like, what's a salt cellar?
Yeah.
And
that's a salt cellar.
This is a salt cellar. It's just this little itty bitty dish that they would have filled with salt. So this one is France. Charles Haviland.
Yeah, Limoges.
So it is a Limoges piece.
That little basket's cool.
Oh, the basket.
This one, yeah.
Yes.
I really
so
like
this,
I like the
it's
form
sold.
on that.
I think that one's sold. But what's interesting about this one is of all of these
this
hand
one's
painted
sold.
pieces, this one is a transfer. So this one is not hand painted like the others. It's still really nice. I love the contrast of that blue with the yellow. It's pretty
Easter.
great.
It's just screaming spring and Easter.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, it's the perfect colors.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But again, it's a transfer. It's not hand painted, but it just, I find it fascinating that like we have all of this that's all hand painted, and there you go.
Yep.
But it's a nice piece. It is. It's great for spring and Easter.
Talk about my pay to learn experience.
It was not a paying to learn experience.
It was.
They are adorable.
They are adorable.
Tell him those are adorable.
They are adorable. I like them with the leaf and the flower. The only problem is, and I didn't realize it because I didn't look the package over.
They're
the box.
so cute.
I didn't look the box over until after we got home, and Joss is like,
Well, you know what the box.
did you realize that these are Pier 1 imports? And I'm like,
minor details.
crap.
Well, you know, I'm constantly looking at stuff, and then I'm like, oh crap, it's Pier 1. And you know, the other week when I was out at Emmitsburg Antique Mall, I bought that adorable little owl votive for myself, thinking it was Blanco.
Yeah.
And then the viewers pointed out, oh, I bought that same one at Pier 1. And I was like, no! But at least I bought it for myself, so.
Yeah, these are cute though. So
Happens to the best of us.
I feel like somebody's gonna like these regardless if they're Pier 1 or not.
Yeah, I like them.
Raja and Ella.
They have names.
Yes.
If they have names,
Raja
they're
and
better.
Ella from Pier 1.
You should just start naming everything.
And we have re-imported these to the resale market.
Yes, absolutely what he just said.
Hey, look, it's the Tree of Life.
Yeah, I haven't gotten around to listing those either. But those are really neat.
Digging that pattern.
Me too. I like that kind of like rusted red. Give them a close up.
With the blues and the yellow. There's like a blue, yellow, green, pink in it too.
Yeah, those are really nice.
And some black.
Now we have a
And
creamer.
these are done on both sides too.
Yes, we have a creamer, a sugar, a miniature single serve teapot, which they have a tendency to do a lot, for instance.
We actually have two sugars, but one lid.
Yeah. So we have the Swan single serve.
So we have a covered sugar and an open sugar.
Ooh! Master, are you gonna say it? She's all about the ooh. She's not gonna. What else is there to talk about? You know, I got a few Japanese pieces just because I thought they were interesting. We got a covered sugar bowl.
I like that though.
I love the
That
big
one,
flowers.
I like that one too.
Yeah, so these were the two that I picked up of the Japanese stuff, even though we were going crazy over. I couldn't neglect it. It was just there and I had to buy a little bit of it. But this covered sugar bowl, I loved the florals on that, so I did pick that up. And the other piece of Japanese I grabbed was this, with the two tulips up front, because, you know, spring is here. And just spring makes me happy, and flowers make me happy, and we need a little happiness these days, so.
Do owls make you happy?
Yes! So the owl is actually Kanawa. I every time I try to pronounce that, it's Kanawha Glass of West Virginia. I'm pronouncing it wrong. But it is an Amberina owl. We talked about Amberina before. It's this transition between the red and the yellow.
Yeah. It's pretty.
I'm not sure if it's just decorative or it could serve as a creamer, but I feel like it's more of a decorative piece.
Yeah.
Just the form of it, it's very, narrow. So I love it though. This piece right here is interesting.
I like that it's got a platter, like a
yes, it's got a tray with it, which is kind of disappointing because I imagined it originally came with cups.
Well, I have a feeling it's a good possibility we might run into
some more
of this stuff at some point.
No, maybe.
It's got that mark on it.
Yes, so this is Dietmar Erbach. It's this beautiful picture with the tray, matching tray, and it's just like this to me.
Yeah.
I'm in love with this. This was one of the first pieces that I spotted that I just I couldn't grab the stuff fast enough. I was just totally geeking out over all of this. Obviously, you guys were there, you saw it. We were geeking out.
Yeah, this one's Dietmar Erbach. Mm-hmm. This one's actually marked Dietmar Erbach.
Yeah, so some of it is marked, some of it is not.
Ooh, like that's got scroll
I know, I
work
listed
to
that last night, and as I was listing it, I noticed that really neat spout.
Yeah, with the scroll work on it.
With the scroll work. I mean, otherwise it's just a floral picture, but that just adds so much to it. I was like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, oh wait, let's just, we can't forget the Mexican pottery. It's all right, we won't forget about you. So this Mexican vase is actually the first thing that I grabbed when we walked in, because I'm like, oh, will you look at that? You guys know I love the Mexican pottery.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I found awesome! And you found a Mexican vase.
You know what? I like the Mexican stuff, so I don't want to hear it. I prefer the Mexican stuff when it has birds on it, but I will take it with only flowers.
Floating around somewhere in one of these boxes, there is a bird. A Mexican pottery bird.
There is.
And he's got armor.
Yes, we have another armored Mexican bird.
This one's like a little guinea hen.
Yeah, it came from your parents. Your dad's like, oh, that old thing? Yeah,
there it is.
Why don't you take that and sell that? And we're like, are you serious? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to get this bad boy listed.
Okay.
But we had what was that, a toucan?
We had two toucans.
We had toucans. So this one's got armor.
Yeah.
And I saw it sitting on the floor, and I'm like, hey, Joss, does that look familiar?
I know.
My dad's like, oh, that old thing?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Someone's gonna kick that over, sitting on the floor.
Get it on the floor by the fireplace.
Get rid of it.
So these armored critters that you guys saw, we had the toucans. That was a while ago though. So those are made by, some of them are made by an artist, and I believe it's Bustamante.
Now this one's actually marked El Palomar, Mexico.
Okay, but does it have a mark there on the foot?
It does have a mark.
We're gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
But there was this metal artist, and I believe his name was Bustamante. If it's not, I'm gonna correct myself down below. But he was actually responsible for some of, not all of, because all of, I'm cracking myself up. Not all of these armored Mexican figurines, but he did produce some of them that are signed by the artist. Those ones fetch a premium. But then I guess people caught on to the fact that those sell for good money, so they started producing them as well. This piece is not marked by the artist, but that's just something to look for, these armored Mexican figurines.
It has a mark on the pottery, but I don't know what that is.
It does. Yeah, we're going to have to look that up.
So we'll figure it out. We'll get this guy listed, and is that a little guinea hen?
He's so cute.
He's the cute little guinea hen. Hey, you want to come play with the guinea hen?
You want to eat him? And you're like, I'm thinking about it. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, you asked her, do you want one?
She's like, I don't like that bird. It's got armor. It's weirding me out.
I can't bite through it.
She's such a cat. Like, Hager is our dog bird and
Yeah.
Astrid is our cat bird. She's like, okay, I'll give you attention. No, stop right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat you.
She doesn't have a person. She doesn't really like any of us.
No, we're working really hard with her, but she's just not warming up really.
She has her moods where she's like, I like you now, but in 30 seconds, be warned, because I'm just going to reach down
She's
out
a
of
cat.
the blue and bite the crap out of your hand as hard as I can, because I don't stop.
She's a cat, like I said. It's the cat thing. You wouldn't get it. You don't.
Don't worry, Hager. You'll never be replaced.
I love you.
I don't.
You're the sweetest.
No, she's not.
She's like, I know. So I'm just looking back here to see. There's really not anything else to really cover.
No, because I think we talked. Oh, grab the little rooster. He's cool.
Oh, the rooster.
Now, this, unfortunately, by the time you see this.
No, I listed it last night.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Well,
So
then you're good.
this little guy was quite popular. And so what's weird about him is he's got this open mouth. I listed him as a figurine.
Toothpick holder.
I feel like it's weird. Like, it's weird to have toothpicks coming out of his mouth.
No.
It is. It's weird.
It's a figural toothpick holder. Why would that be weird?
It's just, it weirded me out to think about it. Like,
It would only. Never mind.
I don't know where you're going though with that. I'm just trying to think it through in my head, but I can't right now.
Don't.
So, and then I was thinking, well, what if he's just like a little creamer and he's like a creamer? But then I'm like, well, you can't really get in there and clean if he gets dirty. So I listed him as a figurine with his mouth open. No. Don't do it. So, I think that's like, oh, the mixing bowl set. Did not survive the trip home, unfortunately.
I know, I was so devastated about that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just the vibrations of the car or what it was.
Something.
But one of the bowls just completely cracked, and then two of the bowls cracked, and so they're not all...
I'm devastated about this because, this has got that Dittmar mark too.
And it was a complete set of 6.
Yeah.
I pulled those out of the box, and I pulled out, I was pulling out the newspaper, and then I noticed the crack, and I pulled out the one, and then I noticed another was cracked, and another was cracked, and I'm like, I just can't even.
Listen, so here's the deal. Here's what I'm thinking, since they are hand-painted, and they are pretty much one of a kind, and they are complete, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The 6th one is over there, and that one's just about ready to completely break into 2, so be careful.
Yeah.
That one's the one that took the brunt of it, I think.
Yeah.
There's no saving that one. That one is about to just break apart.
I know.
The crack goes all the way through it.
And if this were to get shipped, this probably would
The
not
vibrations would
make
just kill it.
the trip in one piece. I don't know. Why don't you know what? Before you list this, why don't you guys throw some comments down below and give us some suggestions on what to do with this set?
Yeah.
With the extra piece. I'm torn. I don't want to throw this away because it needs to stay with the set, but unfortunately
that can't be saved.
it cannot. I
I
can't ship this far. I can't ship that at all.
No, if you guys look, we'll show you the damage. So the crack goes all the way through to the other side. It's all the way through. I'm pretty sure if I wiggled this just a little bit, the whole thing would come apart.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not going to.
Because you know what, I really, I don't know. I'm kind of, I like this set. I really like this set.
I did too. Let's see, this one is cracked all the way through as well.
I know.
So there's at least 2 that are cracked all the way through, and the large one is cracked as well.
I know.
So that's
an old
3.
crack though.
But it wasn't
This
that,
one,
I don't think it was that big.
It's brown. Look at it. That's an old crack. It's an old crack.
In any case, it was super disappointing. I think last but not least, we should mention these. These were the strawberry pieces that Andrew pointed out because I thought they were Japan. I see so many Japanese ones.
There's actually...
I walked right by them.
In that book, there's a whole set of apple jars.
Yeah.
So you have a large apple, and then there's 3, 6, I think 7 or 8, 6 or 8 small apple jars that go with the big apple jar.
Like a canister set.
Yeah.
Like this canister set.
Sucre.
Which I thought was in Italian, but turns out it's French.
Right.
That was my bad.
Oui, oui.
I listed it and I'm like, oh, it's in Italian.
Oui, oui.
No, it's in French. But when I did the Google Translate on T for Italian, it came back T. And I'm like, oh, it's Italian. It's not. It's French. Darn it. Should have known better. I took Spanish in high school. Don't judge me.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
You can't say that.
I can say that. It's a song.
Are you singing? Are you going to break out into song for us?
Hell no.
So anyway, these little guys are actually Dittmar Erbach as well. But I just have coffee, tea, and sugar. But I think that completes our video. We've got lots of bowls, lots of planners, lots of plates.
Lots of pictures.
Lots of creamers, tons of pictures. And like I said, I am listing like 5 to 10 items every night.
Yeah.
Some of which have already ended, and I do apologize for, again, putting this video out late. Things are crazy.
We've got 23 ending tonight, so we need to... I need to crack the whip. Get you under control.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, don't forget to leave your questions down in the comments section and let us know if we do a Q&A. We're not going to do a live Q&A. There's just too much going on right now, and I know the comments will be derailed by current events. So we will do a pre-recorded Q&A, but if you just drop your questions in the comment section of this video, we will look at them and put together a list and maybe answer your question. But
maybe.
And I say we, but it may just be me, depending on Andrew's mood for the day. Depending on if Andrew is out metal detecting and I'm by myself. Ooh, watch it there.
The gag didn't hurt.
Anyway, we will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're doing tomorrow.
Yeah, because I might shirk off my responsibilities and just go metal detecting tomorrow.
It's always a possibility.
It's a good possibility.
Alright, well, we will see you guys tomorrow. Later.
Bye.
My family calls it my superpower. It's my ability to see value in things that other people might overlook.